Welcome to the Dynasty Dugout Show, a podcast covering all things minor league baseball. Get a front row seat to the action with everything you need to know about the future stars of Major League Baseball. And now, here's your host, Chris Clegg.
Hello and welcome to the Dynasty Dugout Show. Today is Friday, March the 7th. We are close to spring breakout games. Minor league spring training will be getting started next week, and I will be there for all the action. I'll be heading down to Florida next week to cover on the backfields for minor league camp, and I will be at 5 spring breakout games from Thursday through Sunday. So we'll be doubling up Saturday, so that will be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to that coverage. And we are going to break down all the spring breakout games, the rosters, everything you need to know about each. But first, this episode is brought to you by Connect Roasters. Connect Roasters is Ian Happ's coffee company. I've got my cup right here. I've got some cold brew Gold Glove blend. Makes it really good with some cold foam on the top. Do it all right at home, and the coffee is incredible. Smooth as can be. If you love coffee and you love baseball, what a perfect partnership. Connect Roasters does great things for the community. Ian Happ makes it himself, at least it's his company. But you can get the Gold Glove blend, buy one, get one 50% off on the site using the code TheDynastyDugout. Follow the link below. It'll automatically do it. Put it in your cart for you and give you that discount. So be sure to check that out. This episode is also brought to you by Chinook Seedery. Chinook Seedery are the best sunflower seeds in the game with a wide variety of different flavors. Their seeds are second to none. Use that link to get 10% off your first order. Let's dive into the action. The Thursday games have some good action, actually. We get started in Florida on Thursday, 7:05, Red Sox at Rays. I'll be at this game. It's got electric rosters. I mean, there's no other way to put it. The Red Sox roster is loaded. This is a roster, and we know these are two of the deepest farm systems in baseball with a ton of talent. So naturally, these rosters are going to be a lot of fun to watch. I mean, I've seen most of the Red Sox guys. I've seen most of the Rays guys. I live in Greenville, South Carolina, so I get the Red Sox high. I've had nearly all of these guys come through, but there are some players that I am still looking forward to seeing that I actually have not seen, so that will be a lot of fun. The Rays, I get a lot of Rays from Single A in Charleston. High A Bowling Green comes to Greenville quite often and around the High A area, so I've gotten looks at most of these guys, but these roster in this game might be the deepest and most exciting. So let's talk about the rosters. We'll go team by team, position by position. The Red Sox, obviously at the top. They don't have Kyle Till anymore, or this roster would probably be insanely loaded top to bottom. But at the catcher position for the Red Sox, they've got Brooks Brannon, they've got Ronald Rosario, and they've got Cleaver Salazar. So Brannon is the underrated one here. Brannon has exceptional power. I saw him in the AFL last year. He spent the year in Salem. He spent some time injured last year, but didn't get a ton of plate appearances. But Brannon was in Salem, and Brannon can hit. He hit several balls north of 110 miles an hour in the AFL, so that was a lot of fun. We'll throw those film up here. You can see on the YouTube channel, Brooks Brannon can hit. He's a threat to potentially leave the yard, so he'll be a lot of fun. Ronald Rosario, he's got some pop, too, when he wants to get to it, but Rosario definitely kind of lower on the Red Sox list. And I have not seen Cleaver Salazar, so that'll be a first look at him. I'm interested to see him play. But Brooks Brannon is the highlight catcher. While it is questionable if he sticks at catcher, the bat is very solid. So hit tool needs to improve. Power is good. The infield is insanely loaded. You go around the infield, it starts with Marcelo Meyer at the top. I mean, Meyer, 4th overall pick. He's the highest Red Sox draftee in decades. 4th overall pick there. Meyer's dealt with a lot of injuries over his playing career to this point. It's limited him. But Meyer has improved. So the interesting thing is Meyer was billed as a heavy hit tool guy with power projection. It's kind of been all the opposite. The hit tool's been average to below average. A lot of struggles with breaking balls. But Meyer has seen his power improve year over year. Last year, I think he hit a ball 114.5, and he had a 106.5 90th percentile exit velocity. Those are big-time pop. You look at the age, you look at the frame, Meyer can hit the ball hard. He's a good glove as well at shortstop. He's not an electric athlete, but he gets good reads and jumps. He's got a good arm. He makes plays look natural. You also have Franklin Arias, who emerged in a big way last year. He was a DSL standout in 2023, goes to the complex, goes to single A, and Franklin Arias looks like a stud. Arias is the pick to vault up the rankings even further and be one that could, become one of the top prospects in this system. Arias, for his age, really good exit velocity data. I think it was a near 91 mile an hour average EV, good hard hit rate. The contact skills are good. The approach is good. Arias checks a lot of boxes. I'll be curious to see, does he play second base with this lineup? Here's the interesting thing, and how does it shake out? Meyer's going to play short, but Meyer's also got work at several spots, so Meyer could play some second or third. Arias is a shortstop, but he could play second. You have Yolan Cespedes. Also, he's a shortstop, but I'd bet on Cespedes playing some second or third. Be curious where, you look at his body, and Cespedes is probably not a shortstop long-term. He's built more like a second baseman. The range isn't going to be there, though, so that's the interesting thing. But Cespedes' bat is really, really good. Cespedes has all the tools that you want to see. He's got serious juice. I got my eyes first on Cespedes last year in spring training. We got some live batting practice against Richard Fitz, who's a good arm. Richard Fitz is a major league arm. And, Cespedes was, I think, still 18 at the time, maybe 19, but he absolutely put on a show. He had some shots. The forearms are big. The biceps are big. This guy's jacked. He makes good contact. He has legit power. Cespedes does it all. Where does he play? I think it would be kind of telling when we see him in spring breakout. Mikey Romero, I've seen a ton in Greenville. Romero has dealt with back injuries. He's dealt with a variety of injuries that have kind of kept him out. He had one of the hotter months in minor league baseball last year and wound up really adding to the power. He's another one in spring that's looked really, really good. So you look at Mikey Romero, and he looks like somebody that could really pop off, and I am excited to watch. Blaze Jordan. Blaze Jordan's a fun one. He, has kind of evolved into a hit over power guy, which is weird to say. We are talking about somebody that supposedly the legend says he had a 500-foot home run at 14 years old. I've seen Blaze Jordan hit some mammoth home runs. If you've ever seen Fluor Field in Greenville, they have the Green Monster replica there. They have seats behind it, and they have an apartment building behind the Green Monster, which I don't know how tall that building is, but I'd guess it's at least 12 stories, so 120 feet high. And I've never seen anyone put one on the roof, but I have seen Blaze Jordan do that. The power's legit when he wants to, but Jordan's also kind of evolved into make contact and just kind of poke it out there, which is weird. So Jordan's an interesting one. I want to see what he looks like this spring. I've seen him a lot throughout his playing days, but I think it's a big make or break year for Jordan. Christian Campbell's obviously another prize one here. He's listed as an infielder, outfielder. He may get reps at both. I wouldn't be shocked if they move him around. Versatility will be huge for Christian Campbell if he wants to find a spot on this Red Sox team. And I think that's what they're trying to do. So you know everything you need to know about Campbell. It's power, it's hit, it's a 6'3" athlete, runs like a wide receiver. He's legit. Campbell, I know everybody's freaking out about 10 spring training plate appearances. Guys, spring training doesn't matter. These guys are working on things. The stats don't matter. I'm not worried about Christian Campbell a bit. If he's going to break camp with the team, he's going to break camp with the team. It's just going to be what it is. His first 10 plate appearances don't matter a bit. So I'm not worried about Campbell. Roman Anthony in the outfield, obviously stud, top prospect in baseball. He's got power, he's got speed, he's got approach. You don't need me to ramble about Roman Anthony. I think if you're listening, you probably know a lot about him. If not, go check out the Dynasty Dugout. Check out the link in the description because I've got a 1,000-word report on Roman Anthony and the Red Sox top prospects. Other outfielders in this team, Miguel Bleis, toolsed up for days, actually improved everything underlying last year. More power, more contact. He's a good runner. The surface results don't show that, but here's my thing with Bleis. Bleis has talent for days. If Miguel Bleis wants to be elite, I'm not saying he's going to be elite, but he has the potential and the tools if he puts in the work for it. Nelly Taylor's a big potential breakout here. Nelly is a fun player. He's got big juice. He came up to Greenville last year. I saw him hit a 108-mile-an-hour bomb. Absolutely smoked. I think it went 440, which is insane. Taylor's a good athlete for his body. You look at him, he's a thicker, stronger build. He doesn't look like he would be a good athlete, but he is. And the field of hits there too. So And Alan Castro, he's a switch hitter, a good athlete. Really like the player there. I'm not going to go through every pitcher, but there are some exciting ones that I have not seen that I'm excited to see. Starting with Juan Valera. Valera is an electric arm. He was in the DSL in 2023, comes up to the complex in single A last year, and really looks the part. I have not seen Valera, and I'm excited to see him. Looking at Peyton Tolley as well. Tolley is a 6'5", 6'6" lefty with 7'4" of extension. At TCU, he had a lower 90s fastball, but the extension plays up. I've been told that the Red Sox have toyed with some pitch mix things, so I'm excited to see that. Jojo Ingracia. Ingracia is one that put up really good surface numbers last year in Salem. Did not get a chance to see him pitch, but Ingracia is a 90-mile-an-hour fastball guy. If he ticks up, there's certainly some things to like. And then Brandon Clark, who they also drafted last year. Clark's one that I really like to break out this year on the pitching side. I think he's going to be electric. And those are the ones I have not seen that I'm looking forward to seeing. David Sandlin, Hunter Dobbins, those are the highlights. Jedek Sampaio, Yudani Monegro. And all those guys are going to pitch. I'm sure some of these, there's too many arms for them to all throw, but there's just some of the names, the bigger names in the system. Conley Early's one that's ticked up. I saw Conley Early a lot last year. I was at his first pro start. I like Early. He's a lefty with a really good changeup. He's set 92 to 94 all year. All of a sudden now he's 95, T97. So Early has a lot to like there. That's kind of the Red Sox roster. Obviously loaded. This Rays roster's loaded too. The system is as deep as they come. It's really, really good. I look at the top. We'll go with catchers. Nathan Flelling, who they drafted last year. He's an interesting one to watch. When I didn't think much of the pick, but when I dug deeper, I think there's some things to like with Nathan Flelling. So keep an eye on him. Kenny Piper also at the catcher position. So I'd expect Flelling to get a lot of run in this game. The infield, pretty loaded. You'll have Xavier Isaac at first base. He'll probably also split time with Will Simpson, who is a first baseman they traded for this offseason, the Jeffrey Springs deal from the Athletics. Simpson has big pop. The hit tool is decent. Simpson's one that I have not seen in person, so I'm very excited to get that look at Simpson, but I've seen Isaac a ton. Xavier Isaac, it's power for days. The hit tool really suffered last year. He had a wrist injury last year. Not sure if that affected his timing a bit, but still, he had balls like 113 and 114 after the wrist injury. So I can't sit here and comfortably say that the wrist was the problem last year, but the contact was really bad. So I'm watching that with Isaac. What does the stance look like? I know he's tweaked a couple things. He tweaked some things in the AFL when I saw him from the regular season to the AFL, and there's been some further tweaks now. Emilian Petre, drafted last year out of Kentucky. Good field to hit. There's some sneaky pop. I don't think he's going to be more than an average power hitter, but really good field to hit there, and he's got some speed. Cooper Kinney, Braden Taylor, Mac Horvath. Seen all those guys a lot. Those are guys, Braden Taylor is one of the top prospects in the system. I'm a little lower on than most. It's just kind of average tools across the board. And there's other players in the system that have electric tools that I'd rather bet on, but Taylor is a major leaguer. Mac Horvath, he screams the Dylan Moore mold. And you may think well, that's bad. But Dylan Moore has had a successful major league career. He's a versatile UT player with good speed. Horvath's kind of that mold for me. And Cooper Kinney had kind of begun to break out last year, shown some more pop, good contact skills, good frame. And obviously the star of the infield is Carson Williams, who is a stud shortstop, power, speed, checks all the boxes. Will he make enough contact? We also have Adrian Santana, who will play short, from her first-round pick, who hasn't really developed as much. And then Trey Morgan, who has got reps in the outfield. I thought Trey Morgan looked good in left field when I saw him in the AFL, but he's also a Gold Glove caliber first baseman. So Morgan is a really good glove. He's a very high contact hitter. It's low power, but really good field to hit. Aiden Smith. I love Aiden Smith. He's my second-ranked prospect in the Rays system. That's how good he is. Smith has above-average power already for a teenager. He's got a good field to hit. He's got 70-grade speed, and he's a really good glove in center field. So Aiden Smith is one of the stars here in the outfield, in my opinion. You also have Theo Gillen, first-round pick last year. Gillen's one where he had a shoulder injury in high school. He hasn't developed any power yet, but it's a good field to hit. It's a good athlete. It's just ultimately how much power does Gillen get to, and it's going to take time to develop. So Chandler Simpson stars in this outfield. We know electric speed. Simpson has the fastest clock time I've ever clocked in person from home to first, 3.54. That is insane. If you don't know home to first times, like 3.54 is nutty. It's like 90 grade speed if there was 90 grade speed on the scale. Simpson's improved the defense. My knock on Simpson last year and why I didn't think he was going to make an impact on the Rays in 2025 was the defense. But we've seen now Simpson look much better with defense on this in spring training in the major league team. So that's been fun to watch, that development. Brayler Guerrero, he's my breakout pick for kind of all of baseball this coming year for prospects. I mean, Brayler as a teenager has major juice, like a 105 ninth percentile, is elite for his age. The contact skills are better than people give it credit for too. And he's a big boy. He's kind of improved the body a little bit. So I think Brayler is a major breakout. And Colton Ledbetter, he was a former second rounder, if I'm not mistaken, I think 50th overall from 2023. I think I've got all my years are jumbled. I can't believe it's 2025, but I've seen Ledbetter hit some tanks. I mean, he was a star at Mississippi State. I saw him last year in high A, hit a ball 112 that traveled 450. I mean, there's some juice in Ledbetter's bat. And so on the pitching side, I've seen all these guys, but they've got some fun relievers. Derek Edginton, he's like a massive, like 6'6", I think maybe 6'8". I don't have it in front of me, but he's a funky arm slot reliever, so he'll be fun to watch. Paul Gervais, he's got some buzz this spring training for his unique stuff. JJ Goss, Austin Vernon, and Ben Peoples are the other relievers. I'm curious if all these starters throw. Again, I've seen all these guys, but a lot of talent here with Trevor Martin, one of the more underrated arms in the system. Martin has kind of steadily improved the fastball. Santiago Suarez, refined command for his age with high-riding fastball and really good stuff. I love Suarez. Gary Gil-Hill was a breakout in the system last year. Good stuff across the board. Good command, strike throwing. Trevor Harrison might be one of the best arms in the system. He was also a draftee in 2023, and he went last year to the complex in Charleston, single A, and he looked the part. Saw Harrison at the end of last year and was very impressed. And Jackson Ballmeister, who this team traded for at the deadline last year, former Baltimore Oriole. Ballmeister's always had the electric stuff. I saw him early June with the Orioles org, and man, the fastball's electric. He's got really good secondaries, but he sprayed the ball a lot. Poor command. He goes to the Rays org, and all of a sudden he's throwing strikes and not walking guys. The data, I was like, did they change the release point? Nothing changed. Was it a philosophy change? Was it a mental change? I don't know, but Ballmeister is electric. So that's the Red Sox and Rays.